Hey y'all, welcome to the Daily Rune for today, August 31st, 2021. Welcome to my channel, Divinely Transformed. My name is Lisa. Whether you're new or returning, I'm glad that you're here. So today's Daily Rune is Rado. It means Chariot of the Sun. This is travel. This is full movement ahead. This is either you're traveling, literally, you're going to be taking a vacation. You could be moving. You could be short distance travel, long distance travel, doesn't matter, for work, for pleasure, for family, whatever. But whatever the case is, it's also associated with spiritual travel, movement forward. So there's going to be, didn't mean to move that. So there's going to be a lot of full movement forward for us now. This is coming out of being stuck and no longer being in that stuck energy and riding into the new dawn. Card is associated with travel in the physical sense as well as in the symbolic sense, the spiritual sense. This is a spiritual upgrade as well. The horseman rides his steed proudly toward his goal while the sun rises and begins its journey across the sky. The meaning of the card is that of progress towards a greater consciousness. The journey is to be understood both physically and metaphorically. So this is about us graduating towards a greater consciousness, right? And we're to understand that both physically, like your actual travel, your actual move, whatever the case is, whatever you're doing that is not at home. You are leveling up spiritually too. Rado invites us to have faith in our dreams and get closer to them so as to get to the root of our wishes and therefore to a thorough understanding of our nature. So this sort of relates to the Daily Short as well, because it was all about having faith and healing. And that's what this is. We're to have faith in our dreams. We have to have faith in ourselves, our skills and our abilities. And in order to do that, we have a more thorough understanding of our nature as a person, what makes us tick, right? Acting independently will make us stronger and more aware of our limitations. Well, that's obvious because, whenever you're, working by yourself, you come across challenges. You either overcome the challenges or you sink. I mean, that's just the fact of that matter. How independent are we? How do we depend on the judgment of others? And this reminds me even more of the Daily Short because it was talking about the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This is not being independent. And when the Nine of Pentacles is in the reverse, this is very much dependent on other people. Whether it's financially, whether it is emotionally, whether it is whatever the need is that needs to be filled for you. How much do you depend on others for that? Are we able to move ahead on our own? Some of us can, but there are some people who are just kind of stuck. And some people get left behind because they are like this person that I talked about in the Daily Short, the King of Wands reversed, the King of Swords reversed. It could be the same person, it could be two different people. It doesn't matter. It's just like these signs in their chart, whatever. It's just the energy of a person who is not in control of their emotions and a person who is not in control of their minds. And with the Nine of Pentacles there. This is heavily dependent upon someone else for something. This is codependent behavior. They're codependent on someone for something, and then for someone else they rejected somebody. That was the basic gist of the Daily Short. Anyway, are we able to move ahead on our own? Like I said, some of us can, some of us can't. How discouraged do we become at the first sign of difficulty? Do you want to give up? Or does that instill that drive in you to want that thing more? Does it challenge you to move through the obstacles? Do we wish to be elsewhere, free and unattached? Well, I guess that means what it means. I know some people may be feeling that way. I know I do. I just want to be in my own space. I don't want to have anyone else around to affect me, to pull me down, to distract me. Anyhow, Rado increases self-esteem and our inner balance. So yes, we have to have self-esteem, and we need to be balanced in order to be making these moves ahead in life and spiritually that we're about to be making. But keep in mind that whenever we are moving ahead, not everyone can go with us. The low vibrational energies, they can't go with us. Now they can if they do the personal work on themselves, which basically I definitely advocate for everyone to go to counseling. Anyone who has issues with obsessive repeating, intrusive thoughts about anything or anyone, especially obsessive fears, anyone who holds themselves back on purpose out of fear, any of these situations and more, I truly encourage you to go and talk to a counselor. They are bound by HIPAA laws. They won't, and they're trained to talk to you and give you coping skills to work through these things. But this is what I'm going to say. I am not bashing on the mental health community. However, I do feel that most people who are diagnosed with a mental health issue, I feel like they hide behind that. And they don't work on themselves, on their weak issues, on them, they don't work on their patterns that put them in these mental and emotional repeating thought process that they have. Okay? What I'm saying is I think that most people who have issues with this, they're like, well, this is the way that it is. I have these diagnoses. There's nothing I can do about it, so I just live with it. And yet, they don't try to stop the thoughts. They don't try to communicate their feelings. They don't try to communicate to work out problems, right? This is a person who has trouble with personal responsibility. Okay? They don't take personal responsibility for their actions and their behaviors because they hide behind, oh, I have this such and such mental health problem. This just, sometimes I lash out. There's nothing I can do about it. I call bullshit on that. I do. Because I am a part of your community as well. I have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder. upon other things. But those are the two main things that I've been diagnosed with as well. But nobody sees me flipping out and raging out whenever things don't go my way. You don't see me being codependent in relationships and having things be toxic in every fucking situation I have. Like, no. I am not cutting myself. I'm not hurting myself. I'm not manipulating others in any way. At least not knowingly anyhow. At least not knowingly for my own benefit or gain, whatever. But yeah, so I'm a part of your community, and I have been able to recognize mental patterns that just, I want to say that it was more than they didn't serve me. They ruined my life. Like, my false belief systems that I had about the world and myself. Like, I thought that I was worthless. I thought that I didn't have a place in the world. Like, I thought that I was just unlucky. I thought I was better off dead. But it was my negative perception of myself. My negative feeling about myself. This was before I gained self-value and self-worth. I didn't know what I was worth. I didn't think I was worth much. But when you, for example, this is for someone who is emotionally unavailable to others. So if you are a person who hides their feelings from others, who doesn't communicate about anything unless they're pissed off, who just has no emotions unless they're raging about something, okay? This is the kind of person who needs to stop and really take stock of how these patterns in their life have treated them so far. Has it made them happy? Has it taken away from you? Have you experienced loss, destruction, depression, oppression, any of these things from the way that you've always done things? Or do you think it's time for a change? To heal, to really get past these challenges? Because it is not normal and it is not healthy for someone to not communicate about their emotions unless they're angry. It is toxic, it's not healthy, it's not normal, it's abusive, and it's wrong. So, this is about recognizing patterns within yourself and having the strength to not only see what they are, to recognize them, to learn them, to learn the triggers that put you into these obsessive thought patterns, and just say, stop. Just not going to think about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to put myself through this torment and misery about it. And just every time it comes up, just stop it. Distract your thoughts to something that does make you happy. You're probably going to have to do this dozens of times before the effect actually starts to take place. It is hard work to distract your thoughts from negativity. But it's not only just to stop there, to distract thoughts from negativity. You need to get the negativity out of your heart as well. And this is having the courage to look at your past wounds, the way that you grew up. You know, if you've had problems with any of your parents, like emotionally, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever the case is. Like you need to be able to have the strength to look at the past, to heal the past, to move forward in life. Because whenever the past remains unhealed, that past feeling and attachments and stuff, it plays out in other patterns with other people in your life. It does. It just continues in other ways, but it's there. And it's always unhealthy, it's always toxic, and it's always dependent. We are called to be independent and self-sufficient in all of our ways. And if we are not, it's time to get that way. In all of our ways, meaning mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Must be stable and grounded in all of our ways. For happiness, for personal achievement, for love. Because whatever is in your heart, you will attract it. If you're sad and unhappy and betrayed and abandoned and lonely and emotional and all this and all that and all this stuff from the past that hasn't been looked at or healed and just been ignored like it doesn't exist, right? It only hurts you. It just keeps your life stagnant. It keeps toxic, negative people in your life needing you and sucking your energy and sucking your money and sucking whatever they can get from you, they will take, right? And whatever is draining should be cut from your life. No questions asked. Doesn't matter who that person is to you. We are called to be strong, healthy people. And we can't be strong or healthy by including people who are sick and toxic and unhealthy in our lives. That's just how it is. Healing our hearts, we need to spend time with ourselves. We need to spend time in meditation, healing the inner child, taking it seriously, really taking it seriously. And the counseling, working through that, really just talking about the emotions, recognizing the mental patterns that get you into that fear. Because all fears are irrational. Fears are false evidence appearing real. So if a person who is emotionally unavailable has had all of these issues with love and nurturing from the past, they're going to continue to avoid that. But it's only hurting them. Whenever that person, anyone like that, can get in touch with their heart and their feminine side, and they can dare to look at the past and say, that was the past. They didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. It wasn't my fault. And really, they did their best with what they could do at the time. Because that person was hurt too. This is about acceptance of what was. And this is about taking personal responsibility and not placing all this blame elsewhere, but just having and just recognizing on all sides, what happened and how you participated. And then to move forward from there. It does take a lot of work, but it's worth it. You'll be happy, you'll be stable, you'll be more solid, you'll be more confident in yourself. Hell, you might even make more money out of it. But whatever the case is, you'll be a more whole and healthy person for yourself, most of all, but for overall humanity. You know, they don't say, change yourself, you change the world. And it's true. Because if you change yourself, that changes how you project out to the world. And you could be more healing and uplifting to the world. So there's my message for today. Thank y'all so much for all of your support of my channel and what it is that I do, and bearing with me through this new phase of my life. I'll post an announcement about that. So thank y'all, and I'll talk to you again soon. Have a wonderful day.